In a lush green forest teeming with life, lived a pair of lovebirds named Kai and Alara. Their love was the stuff of legends, a melody sung by the rustling leaves and a story whispered by the babbling brook. They built their nest high on an ancient oak, a cozy home woven with twigs, soft feathers, and the threads of their shared dreams. Every morning, Kai would greet Alara with the sweetest berry he could find, and every evening they would watch the sunset, their wings tucked together, their hearts beating as one. Their days were a beautiful symphony of chirps, flights through the sun-dapped canopy, and quiet moments of pure affection. They believed their love was a fortress, strong enough to withstand any storm. But fate, as it often does, had a different plan. One year, the rains didn't come. The once vibrant forest began to wither under the relentless sun. The brooks dried up, the leaves turned brittle and brown, and food became scarce. A great famine fell upon the land, and the once joyful songs of the forest were replaced by an anxious silence. Kai, ever the protector, grew worried for Alara. She was growing weaker, her vibrant feathers losing their sheen. He flew farther each day, searching tirelessly for a single berry or a drop of water, but his efforts were often in vain. He saw the desperation in the eyes of the other animals and knew they had to make a difficult choice. One evening, as they huddled together, Kai said, "Alara, my love, we cannot stay here. I have heard whispers of a green valley beyond the mountains, a place untouched by this drought, where water flows freely and fruit hangs heavy on the branches." Alara looked at the towering mountains in the distance, a formidable barrier of stone and wind. "But Kai," she chirped weakly, "that journey is long and dangerous. I don't think I have the strength." Kai gently nuzzled her. "Then I will go for you," he declared, his voice filled with a painful resolve. "I will find this valley, and I will bring back food and water for you. I will not let you fade away." Ilara's heart ached. The thought of being separated from Kai was more painful than any hunger. "No, Kai, please don't leave me. Whatever happens, we must face it together." Kai looked into her pleading eyes and his own heart shattered. "My love," he said softly, "true love isn't just about being together. It's about protecting each other, even if it means being apart. Your survival is more important than my presence. I promise I will return. Wait for me." With a heavy heart, Alara agreed. She knew the sacrifice he was making. The next morning they shared a single precious dewdrop from a wilting leaf. Their farewell was not of words, but of a long, silent gaze, a promise exchanged between two souls bound by an unbreakable love. Kai took flight, his powerful wings beating against the morning air, and he didn't look back, for fear his resolve would crumble. Alara watched until he was a tiny speck against the vast, unforgiving sky. The days that followed were the longest of her life. The nest felt cold and empty. The silence was deafening. To keep her spirits up, she spent her days reinforcing their nest, weaving in fresh twigs she managed to find, as if preparing for his imminent return. She would talk to their nest, recounting their happiest memories. "Remember, my love, the day we danced in the first summer rain, or the time you tried to sing like the nightingale and made the squirrels laugh." Each memory was a spark of warmth against the cold grip of loneliness and hunger. She kept his love alive in her heart, using it as a shield against despair. Meanwhile, Kai's journey was perilous. He battled fierce winds that threatened to tear him from the sky and dodged predators made desperate by hunger. He flew until his wings ached and his body screamed for rest, but the image of Alara's trusting eyes pushed him forward. He was fueled by a singular purpose: to save his love. After what felt like an eternity, he saw it, a sliver of vibrant green on the horizon. The Green Valley. Hope surged through him, giving him a final burst of strength. The valley was everything the whispers had promised. Waterfalls cascaded down mossy rocks, and berry bushes were heavy with ripe, juicy fruit. Kai didn't rest. He gathered the largest, most succulent berries he could carry and filled a carefully crafted leaf pouch with fresh, cool water. The journey back was a race against time. He flew with renewed urgency, his heart soaring with the thought of seeing Ilara again. As he neared his home forest, a dreadful smell filled the air, the smell of smoke. Panic seized him. He flew faster, his heart pounding in his chest. When he reached their ancient oak, his world crumbled. A wildfire, sparked by the dryness, had raged through the forest. Their home, their beautiful nest, was gone. The mighty oak was a charred, blackened skeleton. "Ilara!" he cried, his voice choked with anguish. He circled the devastation, calling her name over and over, his calls swallowed by the eerie silence. Despair, cold and absolute, washed over him. He had failed. He had left her, only for the fire to take her. Heartbroken, Kai stayed by the burnt remains of their home. He couldn't bring himself to leave. He had promised to return, and this was the only place he could be. Days turned into weeks. He didn't eat the berries he had brought. He just sat there, his spirit as scorched as the land around him. But then, a miracle. The seasons began to turn. A gentle rain started to fall, washing away the ash and soot. And with the rain, life began to return. Tiny green shoots pushed their way through the blackened earth. One morning, Kai heard a faint, familiar chirp. He lifted his head, thinking his grieving mind was playing tricks on him. But there it was again, closer this time. He looked up, and his heart stopped. Flying towards him, weak but determined, was Ilara. He flew to meet her, and they collided in a flurry of feathers and joyous cries. "Ilara, you're alive. But how?" She nuzzled against him, tears of joy streaming down her face. "When the fire came," she explained, "I flew. I didn't have the strength to go far, but I found a small cave by the old riverbed. I hid there, surviving on the few insects that also sought shelter. Every day I held on to our memories. I held on to your promise. I knew you would return, and that hope gave me the strength to live." Kai looked at her, his love and admiration overflowing. She had survived not just on scraps of food, but on the strength of their love and the power of memory. And he had survived his own despair by clinging to the place where their love had lived. Their love had not only endured separation and disaster, but it had been the very thing that ensured their survival. They rebuilt their nest, not on the burnt oak, but on a young sapling that stood nearby, a symbol of new beginnings. The forest slowly healed around them, and their love, tested by fire and famine, shone brighter than ever before. Their story became a new legend in the reborn forest, a testament to the truth that real love is not just about the joy of being together. It's about sacrifice, it's about protection, it's about keeping the flame of hope alive in your heart, even in the darkest of times. It's about the memories that give us strength and the promises that guide us home. Because true love, the kind that is etched into your very soul, never, ever fades. Thank you so much for watching. We hope this story touched your heart. If it did, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more stories that inspire and uplift. See you next time.